Well, hello, North Carolina. Can we just give one more acknowledgement to Coach T here? Never underestimate a public school teacher, but I walked out on this stage unbeknown to me in any way, but the guy who hired me for my first coaching job standing right in front. Coach Allman. All right, we're catching up on this. His kid was my ring bearer and everything in my wedding. But, hey, that's North Carolina. Can I give a big thank you to Mayor Bill Sappho? Thank you, Mayor. And look, you know it, but I want you to know the rest of the country knows it. One of the most decent, compassionate, and visionary people is your governor, Roy Cooper. And can I add to Roy and the state folks here, the local emergency responders, the local folks, and to all North Carolinians, thank you for showing America what it means to be a compassionate neighbor in a time of tragedy over these last few weeks. Thank you all. Tonight, I'd also like to welcome, there's a group here that's been traveling the country. These are national security leaders for America. They've been crisscrossing the country. These are retired generals, retired Department of State officials, retired Department of Defense officials, folks that are out there telling people what's at stake in this election. And as Kamala said last night, they're out there and they're talking about a 911 to America because of the danger that Donald Trump proposes to us. So thank you all. Look, to each of you, you could, there they are, they're right here. Thank you, guys. Thank you. These are our heroes making the case. I usually say, and it's true, you could literally be anywhere else. But then I hear in this location, I would say, why the hell would you be anywhere else? As a Minnesotan, we talk about the weather a lot, and my God, this is amazing. But look, it is true. You came here, you waited in line, you stood here for one simple and beautiful reason. You love this country. You know that. Look, not like you're counting or not, but it's 12 days to the election. I'm honored to be on this ticket with Kamala Harris. Our team is running like everything's on the line, mainly because everything's on the line. Yeah, we feel it, you feel it. Now, you've heard this, I know, some version of this from the folks you know, friends, family, brothers. Look, we made it through one Trump presidency. How bad could it be? We could get through another. That complacency is dangerous. And the people who know Trump best, who sat beside him in the Oval Office, who were in the Situation Room, are now finding the courage to come out of the woodwork and sound the alarm. As I said, Vice President Harris called it a 911 to the American people, because these insiders know that Donald Trump of 2016 is not the Donald Trump of 2024. This is a guy who called for the termination of the United States Constitution. These are his words. These are his words. This is a guy who said he would send the United States military after people who don't support him. Donald Trump talks about the enemy from within. Now, look, I know I'm at the top of his list, but don't kid yourself, you're on the list too. Anybody who believes the Constitution is more important than Donald Trump's on that list. Now, Mark Milley, Trump's chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, a career military officer, has a direct quote that said Donald Trump is the most dangerous person ever that we faced in this nation. General James Mattis, another four-star Marine general, Trump's own Secretary of Defense, agreed wholeheartedly with that. Earlier this week, his chief of staff, four-star General John Kelly, came out and said on the record that Trump is a textbook fascist and he would rule like a dictator. Now, according to General Kelly, who I believe, he said Trump said he needs the kind of generals that Adolf Hitler had. You know, the kind who will do anything. Now, I have to just tell you this. As a 24-year veteran of our armed forces myself, and just as an American, that makes me sick as hell to hear him say that. Now, look, you don't have to take John Kelly's words. You don't have to take Mattis's words or Mark Milley's word for it. Our National Security Advisor, John Bolton's word for it, our National Security Advisor, H.R. McMaster's word for it, or Defense Secretary Mark Esper's word for it, or even Vice President Mike Pence's word for it. We can just take Trump's own words. When he says he wants to be a dictator on day one of his presidency, he's not just saying it, he's promising it. I've been saying it, and I think you feel it. You've seen it over the last few weeks. Hell, we've seen it over the last 9 years, but certainly the last few weeks. This is a straight-up descent into madness in front of us, and he's repeatedly talking about it. He's talking about shutting down media outlets that he doesn't like, seizing total control of the Department of Justice, installing his loyalists to run the military. He wants to weaponize our democratic institutions against you, the American people. Sure the hell against me. But it's against anyone who disagrees with him. That's what he's trying to do. Folks, this time there's no guardrails around him. They're totally gone. It's Trump's Supreme Court. They've effectively given him total immunity. He can do whatever he wants. If he's elected again, he'd have the chance to appoint 3 more justices. They will make decisions not just for the next 4 years, but for the next 40 years over your children's and grandchildren's lives. And Lord knows there's not one damn Republican in Congress that's got a damn spine to stand up to him, and they won't. So here's the deal, though. Here's the deal. That just means we need to beat him at the ballot box. That's what it means. So I'm prone to optimism. Rocky Alman will tell you this. I supervised the damn lunchroom for a lot of years. I know what it means to do that. But look, I know that's some heavy stuff, but it sets the tone for where we're at. But here's the good news. We fix all that, ensuring that Donald Trump never gets near the Oval Office again, and Kamala Harris becomes our next president. So last night, where she showed up, which was supposed to be a debate, then she showed up when it was a town hall. Donald Trump's nowhere around. She made and said something that I think is absolutely what this is about. She said she's got a to-do list for the American public that they want to see done. He's got an enemies list of the American public. She and I are offering a new way forward, a way where the economy works for each and every one of you. Lower costs for middle-class families, and where everybody gets the opportunity to get ahead, not just get by. And guess what? She's laid out a plan to make it happen. Not a concept of a plan and not some bullcrap that he makes up. So look, the economic plan laid out means 100 million Americans in the middle class get a tax cut, including a $6,000 child tax credit in the first year of a child's life. When they asked J.D. Vance about child care, he just said, ask Grandma to do it. When Trump got the question, he just word salad, broken brain, and didn't say shit about it. So this is not a game. You need people who can actually come up with ideas. And we want to extend the cap on the $35 insulin that goes to seniors now. We did it in Minnesota to make sure everybody has that cap. Some of you aren't gray enough. We got young people here, and that's a good thing. But they're ready. But the gray hairs will tell you that the 2 best things that maybe this country has done in terms of anti-poverty is Social Security and Medicare for people, protecting them. And Kamala did something that I think is a game changer. And those of us in here, look, I'm caught in this generation. I got a son who turned 18 last weekend, and I got a mother that's going to turn 90 later next year. Those are the people in between. And Kamala is proposing to have Medicare pay for in-home care to keep our parents in their homes longer. And we've waited too damn long. Why does Medicare not pay for glasses and hearing aids? She's proposed we do that. My mom finally got hearing aids. She's a hell of a lot more fun, and now she's part of it. That's what it's about. And look, a new report came out. Trump's proposals, you know what they are. Bankrupt Social Security in the next 6 years. We paid into that, damn it. You know, look, I get it. From his perspective, what's he care about Social Security? Sit down at Mar-a-Lago, you don't do crap, don't pay taxes yourself. He doesn't care if the Social Security check arrives. My mom cares because it pays for her food and her heat. That's how this works. And you know, and you heard him say, going after the Affordable Care Act. Again, this was fun. The other day I was in Madison, Wisconsin, with a guy who knows a little bit about Obamacare, Obama, and and Donald Trump's out there trying to pretend like he was the savior of this thing. Look, we know that he wants to strip away that protection, and for those of us in here, that means going back to where if you had a pre-existing condition, you couldn't get covered. That is outrageous. That is outrageous. He tried 60 times, and if it wasn't for the courage of John McCain, he would have taken our health care. That might be the reason that John McCain's son, Jim, is with us on this campaign. And what we know is folks who have a dream to start small businesses across this country, access to capital for those small businesses is going to matter. That's why she's proposed proposals that put 20,000 grants in people's hands and $50,000 tax credits that go to small businesses, not large corporations that don't pay any tax to begin with. And then for all of you, and this is for the young people, we all had a chance to do this, and they deserve to have the chance to do this, the ability to buy your home and create generational wealth. Yeah, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, they got a plan, too. They want to give it to their overlords, the billionaire friends like Elon Musk. I did a very Midwestern euphemism the other day when I was talking about Elon being Donald Trump's running mate and jumping around like a dipshit on stage. And it popped out. And a lot of people, I did not know this. Some people in parts of the country don't know what that is. Trust me, it's what he is. That's what you know. So look, more tax cuts for the wealthy. The Trump sales tax. This isn't me saying this. This is the economist saying it. His tariffs would add about $4,000 to each family's bill by adding a tax. Once again, what's he care? He goes into a supermarket, which you know the last time was like 1985. He gives $100 to a woman who's paying for her groceries and things like that. I was thinking this. I just think he has to give money to any woman around him to pay off the, where it is. So it might be where it's coming. Now I also know there's some people in this beautiful crowd tonight, because we know it, that are independents and Republicans, and they know. You remember a time when the Republican Party actually, when they talked about freedom, they actually meant it? That's not these guys. When they talk about freedom, freedom of government to invade your exam room, freedom of government to be in your bedroom, freedom of government to tell you what books to read. Look, I've been saying this, and I know you got it in North Carolina too. Families, neighborhoods, communities, states, countries work better if government and lets you just mind your own business. Mind your own damn business on things. It's a golden rule. Because it's none of government's business. We need to do the things we need to do. We need to make sure people have health care, that they're safe in their communities, that we're making sure we're doing the things that make their lives better, not interfering with them. When Kamala and I talk about freedom, freedom for you to make your health care choices, freedom for you to choose about your family, freedom for you to pick the books you want to read. Look, freedom for our seniors after a life of hard work to be able to retire with dignity, with Social Security, with Medicare. And Coach T will back me up, and every teacher and every parent in this room and everybody who cares. Freedom to send our little ones, dress them up in their best clothes, send them to school to be kids, to learn and to have fun and to play. And the freedom to not be shot dead in that classroom when they get there. None of us here. I know there's a lot of you here I know there's a lot of you just like me. I know guns. I'm a veteran. I'm a hunter. I'm a gun owner. Kamala is a gun owner. Owning guns doesn't mean you can't be for common sense solutions to keep our kids from being shot. Kamala and I pledge we will uphold the Second Amendment while also upholding our first responsibility, protection of our children and our communities from gun violence. Again, you know, they're coming for your guns, they're doing that. Look at how interesting is it, and that interesting is used in a Minnesota way here, how interesting is it that the Democratic ticket, both of us are gun owners, and the Republican nominee can't pass a background check? Cannot. You, all of you out there listening, you go into Bass Pro Shop, put that gun up there, fill out the form, and when it comes back with 34 felony convictions, they throw your ass out of Bass Pro Shop. That's what they do. You don't get the gun. Let me just for a minute talk to all the men that are here, and I'm glad that you're here on this. Look, Kamala doesn't talk about it, but it is damn past time we just quit talking about the cracks in the glass ceiling and tear the damn thing down and have Madam President. Tear it down. And I say that for many reasons. First and foremost to the men here. Think about the women in your lives, those that you love, daughters, wives, moms, everybody, neighbors. Their lives are literally at stake in this election. That's what this vote means. We've seen what they've done. Donald Trump appointed those Supreme Court justices. They repealed Roe versus Wade. He brags about it. He's glad that my daughter, your daughters, the women in our lives now have fewer rights than their mothers and grandmothers did. 20 states, including North Carolina, now have Trump abortion ban, which he says is a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. You're seeing it. Women being denied care when they go to the ER because there's a problem with their pregnancy, having miscarriages in parking lots. Yesterday, I had the privilege of sitting down with a name that people know now, and she should have never had her name be put out there, but her courage because of what they did to her, Hadley Duvall. At the time, a 12-year-old in Kentucky who was raped and impregnated by her stepfather. And these guys, J.D. Vance said, no exceptions for rape, incest, and he said, two wrongs don't make a right. Let me just tell you this. What happened to Hadley Duvall, there's not one damn thing right about that in any way, shape, or form. But you think they're stopping? They're talking about now closing the doors on fertility clinics. And I say this too. I don't want to have to talk about, you don't want to hear me talk about my personal life. That's not what we do. I do say this though. You don't want me to give you a sermon, but you should expect us to try and live one. And on this issue of fertility treatments, my wife and I tried for years to have children. Thank God we had insurance. Thank God we had the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota. And because of that, we were able to have our beautiful daughter, Hope. That's yes. And I'll be damned if anybody in this country should be denied to have their family that they want, certainly by Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Look, we're going to win the Congress, we're going to hold that Senate, and we're going to let Kamala Harris and restore Roe versus Wade to the way it should be. She will sign the law. All right. 12 days. We're the underdogs. You knew this. We're going to leave it all in the field. Coach D's know this. I'm not going to go without this. We got the ball, though, people. We got the ball. The momentum's with us. You're here. We're doing the things that happen. North Carolina has one-stop early voting where you can register to vote and cast your vote in one visit. Hopefully we do that. Could I ask, how many have already voted? Yeah. I asked yesterday, I cast my vote, and I took my recently turned 18-year-old son, Gus, and he cast his first vote. Now, look, Not everybody's as responsible or putting things in order. You know why? Because people are busy. They're working. They've got extra jobs. They're trying to figure out how to get things done. They're trying to pay the bills. So this is at a time when it goes door to door, phone call to phone call, door knock on there, and get people out to vote. That's what it takes. Look, it is going to come down to the battleground states. It is going to come down to the battleground states. Probably none more important than North Carolina. One or two votes per precinct will be enough to win this thing. Now, we got multiple paths. I say this. I was asking the other day, we were talking about Georgia, and I said, how many votes did we win Georgia by the last time? And somebody said, I don't know, ask Trump. He was trying to find those votes. About 11,000. I want to win by more than 11,400 votes. But tell me this. How aligned would the universe be bending towards justice if we win Georgia by one vote, it's Jimmy Carter's vote? There we go. There we go. If you got a buck or two, chip in at KamalaHarris.com. All these rallies, all these door knocks, all these phone calls, all the money that people donate to this, all comes down to translating and turning those efforts into a very simple little sticker that we need to put on more people. I voted. I voted. That's what we need to do. So look, you could have been doing something else. Hell, you could be going to watch the Vikings play on TV tonight. Yeah. Give me my moment. Give me my moment on this one. But you didn't. You came here. That's my guy. We are here because we believe in the promise of this country. We have been given a gift. Billions of people around the world could not imagine the ability to, as free people, gather to chart the direction that we want to go. Now, we know the other side, they don't quite see things that way. They want to pass laws making it illegal to give somebody a bottle of water in Georgia if they're voting, or try and take away somebody's vote, or demonize their neighbor, or run nasty ads at the end of this. Well, that's not who we are. We are eternal optimists. We believe in this country. We believe in the promise. We believe in our neighbors. We just got to go out there and fight for it. And as the next president of the United States says, and you see it up here, in these last 12 days, we're going to modify that a little bit. When we vote, let's elect Kamala Harris, the next president of the United States. And I got to tell you, the privilege of being on this ticket, the privilege of being with you, and the gift that I've been given, I don't know if any rank up here with this next thing I get to do. I get the privilege, North Carolina, to introduce someone who has been a voice of comfort and of wisdom and of decency for generations. This is a guy, got 6 Grammys, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Songwriters Hall of Fame, and President Obama awarded him the Medal of Freedom. He's played some of the biggest venues in the world. I would say there's no stage bigger than the Minnesota State Fair Grandstand, which he played, but there's that. And you know that Carolina's always in his mind. Wilmington, please join me, and this is a true privilege, of welcoming an American treasure, Mr. James Taylor.